look at the Genesis, the book of beginnings, and look, if you would, in chapter 14. The first time this name for God is used is by Melchizedek. Remember him? We studied Hebrews. He's that mystical-like servant of the Lord, Christ-like figure in the Bible. Look at verse 18, Genesis chapter 14. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought out bread and wine, and he was a priest of God Most High. There's our word, translated in English, God Most High. El Elyon, God Most High, the top of the top. He blessed him and said, "Blessed be Abram of God." There's our word again, Most High. El Elyon, the top of the top. Look at it. Who has delivered your enemies into your hand. So you have in verse 18 our word, you have in verse 19 our word, you have in verse 20 our word. And what is this priest saying? He's talking to Abram because Abram also worshiped El Elyon, the God who is sovereign, and Melchizedek also worshiped that, so they were in the same family. And he was reminding Abram as he was then, that you've just experienced a great victory, but not of yourselves. It was a victory as a result of him who is sovereign, El Elyon, the sovereign God. You think you've done something, you've accomplished something, you know something, you have something. It all comes from the hands of El Elyon. Remember when Jesus was before Pilate? Remember that? And Pilate looks at him and says, paraphrase, "You know, Jesus, the way you're responding to me, don't you know that I have the power to take your life or to spare your life?" Remember how Jesus answered that? He said to Pilate, "You have no power except that which was given you by El Elyon, he who is sovereign. He is the top of the top." That's the only reason you have power. That's the only reason any of us have life or breath, or our heart beats another moment, or our mind works for another second. It is a gift. It is in the superintendence of and the sovereignty of Almighty God, who is in control.